It's the last game that we have here, Game 6, and it's all about consistency, confidence, and control. And who's going to control their day going into day 2, and who is going to have that morning waffle? You know what I mean? We could have a sleepover, we could have a good time, and in the morning, I'm making waffles, Sundown.
Yeah, but the real question is, will Hen be able to say, get out of my swamp? Because they had a little bit of a tough rotation last game, trying to make it out of there. And right now, not quite going to pull the zone again, so going to have to go on a magical adventure, hopefully get that one resolved. But I have to ask right now, there's nothing more important than this question, and there is a correct answer.
Oh, okay.
Pancakes or waffles?
Oh my goodness, the gauntlet has been thrown down already. Sundown is already going against peppermints. I'm sure he has the thing against oatmeal and raisin cookies. I may be stalling my answer.
Oatmeal raisin cookies are fantastic. Answer the question. Don't dodge.
Okay, here we go. I'm not going to dodge it. It is WAFFLES. Waffles, baby. You could put that syrup right into your own box. They little pools of deliciousness. And when they're made correctly the Belgian way, we're talking about good vibes and full bellies. I'm liking that belly timber of waffles.
Correct. That is the only answer. Anybody who says pancakes is incorrect. Waffles have their own syrup pockets. Like, unless you eat it without syrup, and then I'm just disregarding your opinion altogether, because breakfast food with syrup is superior. But now on to the match, because nothing is as sweet as European Fortnite in the FNCS. You see Milan, Chapix, and Alexa, a.k.a. Queasy of Enterprise, getting their Rift rotation on board, venturing a nice little scenic flight over upstate New York, and they're going to dive on down to try and potentially get a little ambush. And yes, they are. They're going to find a 1v3, trying to take advantage of the player who's here by themselves, pushing forward, using whatever weapons available to him. There's that SMG, the silent spray, and the high rate of fire, allowing him into the box, getting some damage on there. Now they're going to opt to communicate. He's going to tell him, hey, knocking it down, be ready to catch yourself, make sure you're not more than 3 tiles up, as Milan brings everyone down to an even level. However, not able to resolve this ambush as quick as they would like. Now they're in trouble.
Big time trouble at the moment. This is the kind of risk reward that you kind of take. You can be aggressive, and that is the ultimate sign of aggression, kind of gliding on down to somebody, because they're going to have the sound cues necessary to know it's just a matter of a moment, and that is the Victory Royale winner Jam side going down. And that's going to be a big-time factor, having that member of the trio go down so early. But we're seeing the power of the Rifts as well, as Quavato and Letwick are on that extreme back foot as they're getting pressured so hard by Chapek, Queasy, and Milan.
And I mean, we've seen how well that these guys can pressure when they're on here. It seems like this was a little bit of a game planned out push. It's something that they've been looking to try and execute on. We're able to get that player by themselves, and Letwick being able to get cleaned up there. I mean, it's not really how you want to take the final game of the day in Europe. You're taking that momentum over tomorrow. You're going to have to kind of shake that one off, hope for a fresh start. Again, don't forget, after this, we'll have a little bit of a break. It'll be about 35, 45 minutes. Play some highlights for some other regions if you want to stick around. But otherwise, make sure if you need to eat, get some water, walk your dog, any of that, do it during the break, and then you can hop on in after that to the final qualifier in NA East, where Aussie Antics and Monster Deface will be taking you through it. You can see right now only 4 of the top 10 teams have not yet qualified for heats. Just going to speak to the consistency of some of these top teams in Europe, Sancho.
Absolutely, and considering that this is maybe their first time here. Some of them are the second time. This is the Kinzel Wolfies and CRR's first time here. They mentioned it on the analyst desk that CRR, aka Dump Truck, had a phenomenal run near the end, going solo. And that is the kind of thing that you're talking about. In your trio, whether it's you or the others, you're going to have to clutch solo. You're going to have to ride the train by yourself, be a big boy or a big girl, and get your way through as much as possible all by yourself. And those clutches are going to be those points that you mentioned that you have no business of getting. If you have no business of getting those points, that's going to be a matter of, we're talking about $1,000 difference, $100 difference even. Those are the kind of opportunities that these trios are looking for. And I got to say, Train Hard trio right here, I like what they're doing. I'm becoming a big fan on that. I like these kinds of events because we slowly get introduced to new trios, and Train Hard trio, they've been putting in the work, and I'm liking it.
And it's a bunch of players who we've seen before. Sky, obviously, being a veteran all the way back to the skirmishes, won the original Winter Royale back in 2018, and just one of the longstanding veterans of the French community, and somebody who's dealt with some wrist issues, kind of caused him to take some time off from the game, but then came back. And he's somebody who really performs when it comes to the highest level of competition, just somebody who is more than confident regardless of the stage, able to take over a W in that solo World Cup on the stage in front of so many people, not only live but being streamed here. But now on board with another team who we've seen have some relative success in their early aggression, but outside of that, I would say they've shown little to no promise. It's been a whole lot of kind of early aggression and getting in these fights, and not really any mid-game rotations. As you'll see, Celestian and Fazlez will get cleaned up there again, unfortunately. So 2 points going over 20 so far for Halfthump, Jerky, and Sapiros on the day.
This reminds me of Storming Right, Rotary, and Kiriachi. They had the same kind of journey. A lot of storm fights, a lot of purple on the screen when we joined in on their POV, and it just led to a lot of inconsistency. That trio was able to change their spot, change the rotation, and they were able to almost qualify. I think they're on the one outside looking in, may have to rely on series points to get them in, but that is what we're talking about here is you're looking at the game plan, you're looking at the VOD reviews, Sundown, and you gotta have to answer those questions. Are like, yes, we land here all the time in solo arenas. Yes, we scrim here all the time, but maybe it's just a change in focus, a change in path could lead you to qualifying and could lead you to a championship.
And sometimes you don't even recognize that you just need that little shift, right? Sometimes you need to go back and you talk about kind of going through and reviewing the server replays. Sometimes you notice, hey, if we go this route instead, we're able to get this house, which isn't generally looted, rather than going past XYZ house, which is always looted, and we've actually been ambushed at before. And now you can see a little bit of awareness coming through from Hen and some good burst shots. We've talked about kind of the, Hen following it up right away. Not quite able to connect on the headshot, but a good 105 body shot will make sure a second 105 body shot, Hen has hit the last 6 bullets he's fired, 4 from a burst and 2 from the sniper rifle, and all of a sudden they don't have to worry about Storm Surge at all.
And that's a great highlight of the power of the sniper. It just gets so much of that HP that you could kind of put into that Storm Surge pot. And those valuable tags are going to not only get that Storm Surge, do you get, no, I'm about to say, don't you dare, Hen. But this also is a great way to show that you could kind of slow down a team. Oh my goodness, Hen. What did you eat for breakfast? Did you have the superior breakfast item of the waffles, sir? I believe so.
And you can see Wolfie's cleaning up that elimination for him there. Avoza Travixta going down, but Hen being the benefactor there, that's the Siphon coming through, topping him off, and then an additional point going over. You can see they're just going to rotate long and away because they know there's 2 other teams bogged down on the side.
And they literally just got a to-go plate right there, that Elim point. They kind of picked the fight from a distance safely, didn't really expend any mats, and they walk away, and they leave that chaos behind. That team's fighting on the Storm, and we know, having been watching here throughout the entire broadcast of the FNCS, we know that fight's going to last a little bit longer now, and they just threw a wrench in that one right then and there. But now we're seeing one of the new trios onto the round 3, Mappies, Vajin, and Left Eye. We're gonna keep butchering your name as much as possible. We will get it right.
I think it's. So I want to say Fanagen, as in like. So I think Fanatic, how it's spelt there, but rather than tick at the end, just put Gen. So DSR Fanagen. If we are incorrect, please let us know because we want to give you props. As of now, one of the teams who has to place in that top 15, so we're going to be keeping an eye on them because out of the 3 teams who have potential to qualify in through the top 15 route, the other 2 are 31st and 32nd. So unless they're really able to step it up in this game in the back 6 tomorrow, the only team who's really able to make kind of that last second Cinderella belle of the ball punch your ticket to the dance is going to be Left Eye with the 2 up-and-comers of Mappy and Fanagen.
And we've seen it done before in solo competition throughout the Fortnite competitive. Mr. 100, Mrs. 100 coming in at the very end, making it all the way to the top. And that is the beauty of this entire competition. Still, they got a lot of work to do. They got to go through heats if they qualify. But we're going to start focusing in that top 15. This is that team that's on the bubble. And you may be saying, but Sancho, isn't there a way to get in through the qualifying series points? Yes, there is. But this trio, that's not an option. The only option is to place or kick. And they have to do it right here, right now. So that is going to be the drama unfolding for that trio. But for this trio, drama-free. They could experiment. They could make some crazy pushes. But I think you might be true. ADN, Matzo, and Amplify are just going to stick to what they do best, and that just keep these repetitions going. Get some clean reps for this train hard trio.
Drama-free, but definitely not taking the Dramamine and putting them to sleep. ADN, Matzo, and Amplify have been exciting from start to finish. And again, I know we've harped on it time and time again, but one of two trios to make every single one of these round 3 qualifiers. It's them and then Mitro, Mongrel, and Tayson. So breathing rare air, and they've done it by alphaing up one of the most central spots on the map and pushing away anybody who has come authority in the past week and ruins this week. Anyone who has even contested them there off of the start or tried to rotate past them has met their wrath, and they've pushed a circle out where nobody wants to come near there, because they'll stay there and they'll continue to loot. They'll happily get their tags, but if you come within range, they'll burn the utility that is gained from looting that POI in order to fight you. And look, walking away 6 shockwaves, all of the shockwaves on ADN. 4 floppers, all of the floppers on Amplify. ADN is the one who goes to make their aggressive plays and the aggressive takes, while Amplify is the one who they leave towards the back to try and make these heal-off plays at the end if it goes to full close. You can see right now ADN up on the high ground doing a good job gatekeeping out towards the side here. This is a position they find themselves in all the time.
We're seeing Game 6 being like a little bit looser in terms of placements that you're seeing right now. Already 23 teams are left. So just taking a look, already in Zone 3, that means we're so close to placement points getting doled out. It goes down for top 17, and you just got a little taste right there of ADN, Amplify, Matzo maximizing their damage output right there, because those tags, those valuable tags that you see, will kind of get them over. Will be a big factor and get them over there.
You can see now hopping on board here, that's Paco of Otterworld picking up Lol Boom, the Irishman, being cleaned up on the side there, and he's sneaking a little clown emote in there saying, yep, that one's for you. Let you know you're zooming on in. That looked like that was a full elim coming through as well. No down but not out conversion coming through on that end. And right now, looks like they're setting up Shockwave to try and head to the zone. There was 2 teams that they had to go past, or at least 1 Scarecrow there in that build on the side. So now, nope, team right on their back there, going to get 99 damage onto Paco. He needs to take some minis and be careful, as now we're going to swing back towards the outside. You see Stepter, KS1 Light over there on side. We got Seiko, Pepe, Komi, and Telek here on the inside. 43 points so far, but already stationed in this 3rd zone. So not going to be overly threatened, as everyone is just looking to establish space and try and get whatever Storm Surge tags they can.
I gotta say, though, Sundown, the most dangerous thing that we're approaching as we're getting to Zone 4 is look at all the water. Poor trio out there, out in their distance. They're going to need to call the Coast Guard if you're here in the States. I'm not sure what's in the EU side of things. I'll look that up for next time. But we've been seeing how dangerous these coastal endings can be. We got a lot of taste of mountainous endings. This is the first time we're going to get some aquatic ending for our competitors going into the last game of the day. Tomorrow, we got another 6 games for everybody to navigate, and we're going to see who's going to be the top 15 to get their way into the last opportunity before we get into some madness. And we're talking about the madness of the wild card, of the Heat 1 and Heat 2. That madness is going to get up, and it just gets amplified up as advised, gets amplified at the moment by the lobby. But you're going to have some heats, and then it gets crazy, bizarre world with Wild Card Wednesday right before we get to the Grand Championship.
Yeah, and you can see right now, Paco trying to make up advise. I would not advise you to have made that rotation without your two teammates with you. Overstepped a little bit, especially when you already had lobby focus on you and a team at your back. But now Paco trying to find a little bit of room here as the lobby focus is continuing to rain down. You can see a number of teams just pouring mats into Paco, going to end up going down there. Jachu is eventually going to meet his end as well, as the sneaky snake on the backside will steal a point away before going down in silence. Reigns across the field as just the harpoon will zip across, and we are going to zip across to the opposite side of the zone as Zone 4 has been revealed, and you can see Mitro, Mongrel, Tayson building up with hard mats, which to me indicates that zone pulled up into the northwest as you see a number of players beginning that rotation along the waterfront.
And this is the gamble that you're going to take, as you've seen another trio of the Train Hard trio gambling as well, that Zone 5 is going to pull their way. The analysts of Reese and Shio mentioned this factor right here. They expended, they kind of going not all in all the way, but if it pulls opposite of the way they're going, then they're going to have a tough rotation. We've already seen a trio in Chapix kind of go down when they went for height this early. It's a common factor though, Sundown. Zones 4, 5 is kind of a way to gonna go for height and send beams on down. And then as we're seeing all these trios right here still have the opportunity, as long as they have the utility, to kind of pop up. As you see, Refsguard with 3 shockwaves has that opportunity to take height. It's just a matter of holding on to this utility as long as possible.
Yeah, you can see that zone is pulling towards the western half of that northwest side, and the burst finding through. Seiko Pepe not going to be laughing about that one. You can put your Pepe hands up as Refguard finds the shots in there, trying to get the conversion over the top as that team is outside the zone. There is a little bit of pressure coming onto him right now. However, looking to just try and own as much of the space around him as he can, and actually sneaks a quick little shot in, and he finds Telek as well. So nice awareness from Refguard. 2 eliminations coming through there. 59 points, 56 players remaining, 19 trios left. Storm Surge is in play, and when this zone closes, 6 players will be under that threat. You want to keep an eye on the top left. That number needs to flip to 50 before Storm Surge turns off. Top 17 trios will be when our placement point comes out, but right now, Storm is closing in, so keep an eye on the bottom right-hand corner. Zone number 5. It means half in, half out, and whoever pulls that zone is going to have a huge priority and advantage over the rest of the field.
On the north side, you have Mongrel's trio on top of height. On the south side, you have Train Hard at height. But right now, we have Refsguard on the low. And keep a mental picture of that inventory. The shockwaves would be a huge factor for them, an opportunity for take height. But we're seeing Wolfies, Kinzel, CRR all working together, and you're seeing the beams come true. The strength of this trio is their aim and the ability to go ahead and box fight, the mechanical prowess. But now they pulled a full pull right there as Zone 5 gets away, and that is why they're rotating early. They're getting out of dodge as much as possible. And there it is, more rotations happen as Train Hard did not pull zone. It had to go all the way up north.
And they messed up their team rotation. We've talked about it time and time again. But going into the finals, I want to see these teams using their extra mats to make sure you build a wall, and a ramp above the top of you. So when you bounce or shockwave like that, you all get funneled together. Luckily for Matzo and Amplify, they were able to get back together with ADN, and ADN makes a monstrous play, picking up what I believe was Falcon Lee there with a huge 200 shot and separating him from Yaxo and Skype. But now, Mitro, Mongrel, Tayson, we talked about them building up with the hard mats and pulling zone. They still have zone. We're going to keep an eye as the 2 most consistent trios in the entirety of EU have boxed up with now priority on that 5th zone. And we're closing in on the placement points and the full moving. That means we get endgame of game number 6 here, Sancho. Let's go.
And it's going to be a doozy of one, considering that there's so much water surrounding. Can Train Hard, losing Yatso, get the job done? They have to compete with another Train Hard competitor right next door of Matzo Amplify. And we're just seeing that they're second from height at the moment. And the most deadliest trio that you could have at height is Mongrel, Mitro, and Tayson. The gamble paid off. Let's see where Zone 6 reveals here in a moment. This is going to be a big factor. It's going to push off this entire island and go right over water. Oh no, Sundown. Oh no.
Luckily, with the changes coming through in Chapter 2, all of that water is now buildable all on. You know, when we came through, the map was flooded after Midas ended up leaving and going through there. Before in Chapter 1, you would have had to have just kind of swum out there and pray or made sure you had the full tarps, but now across the top, you can at least cover yourself a little bit. However, everyone's going to be forced to use utility because no one was hanging out on the western side of the zone. So you see the initial bouncer from Sky and trying to get ahead. Also, because no players have dropped, minus a couple going through, 18 players are under threat from Storm Surge. So Sky immediately going to turn around and begin the pressure because they were 226 below, make that 99 below, make that 19 below, but still underneath the pressure, so they're not safe. They need to find tags. And we talk about not being safe. We see Mitro going down. Mitro is down. Hen is up on the high ground for the second time in the game. The young English player trying to tip the scales, but we're going to hop on board with the back-to-back, the solo specialist. Kinzel on the low ground. CRR and Wolfies hip-to-hip with them as they continue tarping forward.
Sometimes in the chaos, it's the solo player that rings true, as Kenzel, CRR, and Wolfies are now trying to come together as one. The solo all-stars working as a super trio team at the moment. CRR picks up another elim, and it was Fire Hunter that took down Tayson at top. So a lot of people contested for height, knowing how viable it can be.
And we now have our top 17, so every trio to drop here will be an additional point. Don't forget, top 3, as well as second in Victory Royale is where the bonus placement points come through. But CRR picking up a nice little double elim right now, giving them their 4th elim and 74 points on the day so far.
So many different styles are kind of colliding, as mentioned before, but it is just the prowess of Kenzel, Wolfies, and CRR, as Mongrel is still up, and Mongrel gets a 2-piece on Yanis and X-Wheezy, so that is going to be a dangerous player now going solo, as Wolfie goes down, gets knocked by Fresh, so now it's up to CRR and Kenzel to keep the story going, as Mappy picks up an elim. Down goes Wolfie, gets confirmed by Malad, so now it's all on Kenzel, the solo champion, the back-to-back DreamHack champion. Can he clutch for his trio, as he's the only last one standing?
But he finds it, and he also finds an RPG. They're available if you take out the Sharks. If he can find some room, there's a huge surprise factor. But now, hopping on board, DSR Fenogen. Mappy is down. Left Eye is down. The veterans are out, and it's all on the back of the rookies. We talk about it. These guys need to find top 15 over the course of these 12 games if they want to qualify, and ending it on a huge day here would be massive for them. Right now, just trying to hold the pressure. 3 HP. Can't step into the back, but a little bit of a misstep. Could the pressure be getting to him, as Mappy now trying to find some room. ADN and Skype picking up some elims in the feed. That's Mongo going down, but he did manage to snag 7 placement points there, so not a complete waste coming out from the top trio. But Mappy, with the zone going back over, is gonna stick the revive onto Fanogen. And when we talk about those points you shouldn't be getting, you shouldn't be sticking a revive in the 9th zone, but when the stars align, sometimes you get everything possible, and they're just ticking over placement points right now, as Hen on the high ground is doing all the work. Advantage comes forward. He picks up Puntrick. That's a huge down. And he gets Hen as well. That's 2 back to back. The Siphon's going to come through. He's going to dip back into the storm. And he's going to find a shockwave. He's going up onto the high ground. And I see no one else nearby. Did Fanogen just steal it? No. There's one more player above him. 5 HP and a dream to try and close it out. But the solo effort with 7 players remaining. There's 5 trios left. He's already secured an extra 8 points. He can't touch the storm.
The dream is still on. The dream could come true. This team is going to have a lot of momentum going into day 2, as Fanogen has an opportunity, racking up so many placement points. It's a top 5 situation here. Every moment that matters as builds going in. It is closing time. Zone 9, and the zone's getting small. Oh, big tag. Bato goes down, but oh my goodness.
He missed the finish. He only had the 9 HP. He dipped back out for the Siphon, but he should have just kept his position on the zone. We talk about having to do everything right when you want to clutch, but right now, Deceptos trying to find the space, needs to knock down Chapix on the high ground, and Chapix gets ticked over. The difference of 2 seconds. Deceptos finding the space, and we talk about Hen being the star and the one who gets the elims. He had 5 on him there, but Deceptos with the positional advantage